They pulled it off. Your boy Kongming pulled it off. I have really absolutely loved the final episode of your boy Kongming. Actually, I generally loved the final few episodes, honestly. I think the story really did pull something together that really did surprise me, honestly. It's one of those cases where, yeah, I was very hot on your boy Kongming when it first started. A lot of my emphasis around the series was around Kongming. I believe that he was bringing a really cool concept to the modern times. This idea of essentially doing things for other people, not because of your servitude to them, but using the knowledge they bestow upon you to benefit somebody else. It's a give and take aspect, not necessarily a transaction of buying somebody's work. And yes, Eiko's inspiration to do something was really credible. I really did enjoy it. And honestly, as they introduced Kabe, I really didn't know if I'd like him. I'm like, okay, I was really into it for Eiko. She's cute, she's got a great voice, and then now we're suddenly doing all this rap stuff. But it's so great that by the end of this series, that became the core concept that essentially created the big finale. It was all a build-up to a really powerful message, specifically to Nanami. That whole concept, it's so funny, this is Eiko's story, this is Kongmin's story, it is technically Kabe's story, but it felt as if it was all to help Nanami. Like, this whole story, surprisingly enough, was to help this one idol, to pull her out of the business mindset and into what your dreams were. You had these dreams, and yes, this is not a unique concept. The idea of somebody having dreams, getting stuck into corporate mindset, and then wanting to go back to their old days, go back to where it all began, isn't a new concept. But what was great is that it pulled it off. It still pulled it off. It pulled off such an emotional, impactful ending that I cannot stop thinking about all throughout today. Like, when I watched that finale, I was like, yes. Well, technically, when I watched episode 11, I'm like, all right, you got the setup. Like, you've set up the ball. It's ready. It's like right there. Are you going to hit it? Are you going to get that home run? It's just sitting there. It's not going anywhere. It's sitting there waiting for you to hit it as hard as possible. And they did it. Episode 10, they pulled it off. And I love how in episode 11, it sort of sets it up. It sets it up in this idea that the two of them are there. You have dreams and being natural to yourself, finding your voice, and then you have lost your voice, lost your meaning and behind everything. You no longer find love and fun and passion in what you do. Do you really want to continue doing this? Over here, she's having fun. Over here, you're a facade. You're a fake self. And I love how, again, this is all set up. Kabe was the mean word, because Eiko wasn't going to get on that stage and go, Nanami, sing with your real voice. Sing with your real voice. That was never going to happen. It was Kabe. Kabe doing his rap, doing it in style, really spitting truth at Nanami. And I like how he at some points like, was that too harsh? Was that too much? No, it was perfect. Kabe gave the words that Nanami needed to hear. And granted, that did not change Nanami. That was enough to really, like, put the knife in there. Put that knife into her heart to where she kind of started questioning what she was doing. And the moment that Eiko sung, that drove it through. That was enough to drive it right through. Oh, it was so good. And not only that, but technically Eiko's song was literally what she needed to hear. Eiko's song was all about the dreamer. It was about the cocoon. It was about breaking out as the butterfly. It was all about seeking your dreams and coming out of that shell. You know what you want. You know exactly what you want. Take it. Just take that dream. And yes, Nanami, in hearing this, totally broken down. Yes, right there with all of her friends, all breaking down at the same time, all being inspired by the song of Eiko. And it worked. It was like, oh, it was so beautiful. Just this show has been like a culmination of several things. One, it's visually beautiful. PA works is phenomenal. But two, you also have the aspect of introducing just great music, great vocalists, really good style. Again, Kabe, I'm not a huge fan of rap, but I think that he added a certain flavor to it. Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting them to do a like a duet thing, like both Eiko and Kabe doing a duet. I really thought that was in the cards for Kongming. He wanted to kind of tap into this new style that you kind of see a lot in, especially right now, it seems to be booming in Japan, this idea of rap and regular vocalists, like that contrast between a beautiful voice and just, again, just ripping out lines like crazy. It's a great contrast between the two of them. I was really expecting that to be the thing. Then the moment that Kabe kind of stepped off the stage, I'm like, no, they're just going to have Eiko just completely floor them with her voice, which was fantastic. And I do like, and again, this is another thing where it's not new. The idea that Nanami's manager is in the same mindset. He had these dreams and these desires, but the industry itself just chewed him up and spit him out along with his friends. And he didn't want that for Nanami. That was kind of the nice little icing on the cake, honestly, despite the fact that is, yes, not a new type of story there, is really taking it from a vantage point of he didn't want the same to happen to Nanami. He doesn't want that to happen to anybody else. He wants them to be successful. And he's seen potential in Nanami and her friends. He wanted them to succeed. Unlike, again, the industry chewed him up and spit him out. So, again, taking it from a vantage point of something that's not too new, but pulling it off in a way that kind of gives credit to every character. But yeah, it was a fantastic way of concluding this series. And I think overall, this show is really fantastic. I'll end up doing a review as well, so I might repeat a couple of these things in my review, obviously being not spoilery in the review, but I think overall, the real big takeaway that I got from this series was really how it pulled off all these stories. How it managed to put all the pieces into play and then pull off this really fantastic conclusion. It really is to the credit of Kongming. How they took the strategist character and put him into modern times and really used his strategy to the fullest. I honestly believe, I don't think it didn't really outright say it from Kongming's perspective. It did note the idea that Kongming had backup plans. He congratulated Eiko because she pulled it off. She's like, I didn't do anything. It's like, no, you pulled it off. I had these other plans. Like he himself, not really doubting her, but he's a strategist, so he has backup plans. In case something doesn't go right, I had these plans, but guess what? It's just wood fire now. I can just burn that stuff because it's not needed because you pulled it off. And like I said before, I like how technically this entire, at least this season, obviously it still goes on, and I'd love to see more from PA Works to do this onward because I loved it so much. It's kind of a sign that the entirety of this story, of this core, was almost a culmination of things placed into position for this ending. Again, kind of giving credit to Kongming as a strategist. He knew what pieces to put together, and in the end, yes, not knowing that they were going to have to get 100,000 likes for this concert, everything was in place for it. Like it's almost as if he's been gathering the tools for any situation, and in the end, he uses all those tools to pull off the big heist at the end. And again, it works so well. I love this show. I'm so glad it turned out as good as it did. And like I said before, I think of anything that I can give this show credit for is pulling off that ending. So many shows I love and they'll dwindle off, or so many shows will be okay and then they'll have a really great center point and they fizzle off. But I mean, this, along with several other shows this season, it just pulled off. If you got nothing from this, you got a powerful end to it. You had that moment at the end of it that just blew you away. It blew me away. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, look forward to my review of it. I'll definitely be doing a review of it. But anyhow, that's all I wanted to get out of here. I just need to tell people that I love the ending and just gush about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment, let me know what you thought. Did you think the ending was as great as I did? Did it fizzle for you? Did it not work for you? I'd love to hear from you guys. Additionally, if you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get all of my content, and yes, technically my review when I do that. Additionally, if you would consider, I would greatly appreciate to support us through Patreon or through our tips link in the description below. We also have a super thanks button on YouTube where you can support us directly through YouTube. I definitely appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.